Let's set up a content queue in Fedica. So here we're at the content queue page here. So go to publish, hit the queues page, and then now you can set up all the different ways to categorize different types of content, different topics that you're talking about, content for different platforms, or even RSS feeds that are targeted to a different way. So this helps you balance everything in your calendar. So if we take a look at the calendar here, go to calendar, and you have different queues that are going to be organized in different ways. And what's fun with Fedica is that each of these queues have its own schedule. So in your calendar settings, you can hit the hours button here and set up a separate schedule. You can also find that in the publish tab here and then go to your hours. And all of these are automatic for different regions of the world, for example. And I have a whole video breaking down that and how to target different segments of your audience. But for us, we are looking at these content queues here, and let's set one up and show you all the steps you get. So there's the queues for your regular content, of course, and then you have other queues for your RSS feeds. So these are automatic and they're going to pull from a website. So Facebook News, for example, I think we pull from TechCrunch, for example. There's a video on that to set up an RSS feed, so take a look at that one. Let's create a new queue. This is going to be whenever I have a random idea, I'm going to send it to my Blue Sky Thoughts queue. And this is helpful because later on you can go to your analytics page and then just sort by this queue and have all of your content, all of your topics. However you choose to strategize and organize in your calendar, you can look at those analytics separately. So let's pick Blue Sky here for these Blue Sky Thoughts, and we're going to have one post a day, and we are going to pick our schedule that we want. So let's just go for something like America's, targeted just for when they're active, our American audience. So let's pick a color. I'm going to do blue sky, blue like the sky. There we go. And you can repeat it if you want. When you do decide to repeat, you can pick an end date until it's going to stop. And it's only going to repeat once on platforms that mandate that. You can keep the queuing order, which will keep your posts in the same order. As you add more posts, it'll just add it to the end, keeping that same linear timeline there. And then you can have automatic URL tracking, which is classic UTM parameters, the parameters that you'll see in Google Analytics, for example. So the source it comes from, which is the social network, and you have the medium, which is social, and then the campaign, which would be your content queue name. And for us, when you have these brackets here, if you keep it that way, it's going to use the name of the queue and it's going to keep the same source. So the social network is going to be Blue Sky in this case. So all of these classic link tracking parameters here are going to be added to the link that you post with, and you can shorten that link with Fedica. So we'll keep it short and you can hide all these details so you can continue tracking the post clicks to your website. So there you go. Now we have a queue and it's set up and it's going to use the same schedule that we chose here. So we can hit save, and now we have our Blue Sky Thoughts. Now, if you did specify more details in your schedule, you can always take a look at that in the hours section here. So the Americas is the one that we were using. If we edit that, we know that it's automatic for every single day and it's optimized for our American audience. We have a whole video breaking this down, but of course, as you change it, it's always going to update for your audience. So these are the active times of your followers. So here, let's keep that at the American audience, optimized at any day. Now, if you do choose a certain cadence, like you have, Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, for example, you know that this queue is going to use that schedule. So when you go schedule a post, and let's say you bulk upload a post, so you go to publish and you bulk upload, you can send everything to this queue really easily. And that makes it super simple to just fill up a whole queue, knowing it's going to have that schedule and it's going to be optimized for your audience and it's going to be balanced with the other content queues in your calendar. So for example, we can always add more Australian posts to our Australian audience in this queue here, and we know it's just going to keep getting added to it, and it's not going to disrupt this blog queue that's optimized for our American audience, for example. Now, if ever you're going to schedule something, for example, now you can schedule your post the way you like it to that queue. So let's click the queue here. We have our Blue Sky Thoughts, and you just have to add it to the queue. So just like that, it's going to go right to the calendar at the next available time, optimized for the schedule that's attached to that queue, right? Now I'm going to edit this and I'm going to send it to our drafts, because what if we don't want to send it to the queue? What if we want to send it to a specific time? I want to post this on the weekend, for example. Let's go to the drafts here, and then here's our post. Let's edit that, and let's make sure we not send it to the queue. So here's your options. So when you schedule it, you can send it to a queue, or you can send it to a specific date. Now from there, you still have the option to use that schedule that you set up. So if you know you still want to target your American audience, then you can do that. And you always have an option to send it at the exact time if you want to ignore that schedule and pick something very specific, like I want to post it at that time on Saturday, for example, I can do that. And then send it to the calendar. So there you go. That was 3 ways you can schedule in Fedica with complete control. So either you pick the specific time, or you pick the day with the schedule that you already decided with some optimizations. You can do that as well, or you can send it right to a queue that has a schedule set up. It's the full range of options. Either it's mindless and you send it to a schedule you've already created, or you send it to a specific day, but you know it's optimized for a specific time, like your American audience, for example, or you pick that perfect time you want, like for a product launch, for example. So you have complete control here, depending on how you want to schedule things in your calendar. And with content queues and specific schedules, it makes it super flexible for however you need to strategize. So if you have any questions about this, just let us know, and we're always happy to help.